Welcome to the Literary Batman. My name is Victor and I like Batman a lot. I've been collecting Batman for the past 15 years and now I want to share these stories with you. Let's take a look at our bat shelf so we can find today's book, Hush Returns. Batman Hush Returns is a somewhat direct follow-up to the more successful Batman Hush arc by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. Published in 2006, this volume encompasses Batman Gotham Knights issues 50 through 55 and issue 66. It was written by A.J. Lieberman and drawn by Barrionuevo and Javier Pina. I like to give a summary of the story first in these reviews, but this is such a failure to story, character, and reason that I think our time would best be served by me going from one train wreck to another, until, like this book, the review just sort of ends. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new. Your support is my utility belt as I venture into a dumpster fire like this one. First, so you're aware, Hush is a master manipulator and world-class surgeon that was friends with Bruce Wayne when they were children. He carries a grudge against the Wayne family from his youth and coordinated a massive rogues gallery gauntlet for Batman before being taken out by being shot off a bridge and disappearing. He hasn't been heard from since, but some of Gotham's villains still harbor a grudge against him for his actions in this arc. Hush Returns tries to establish an air of mystery as it begins with the Riddler crashing through a glass dome and landing beaten and bruised on the floor in the middle of a gala. A shadowy figure passes over view. Who could it be? It's kind of weird that Lieberman took this route to reintroduce Hush, since we already know that he's the shadowy man in black because of the title, but we're also not supposed to know yet. The title of this arc is called Pushback. Who pushes back? Why do they push back? Where do they push back? When do they push back? Spoiler, we never find out any of these. We flash back to 1 week before the intro, where a mysterious figure is living in a swamp. No, we don't know which swamp, but we're still supposed to wonder who the person is and why he wants to kill Batman. The issue cuts to Bruce Wayne openly bickering with Oracle in the middle of a party through a headpiece. No, we don't know whose party it is or why Oracle is spying on him. That's not important because we get the first of many shoehorned ideas from better comics thrown in, as Bruce sees the resurrected Vesper Fairchild in the crowd. Remember Vesper? The girlfriend that was brutally murdered in Wayne Manor and Bruce was framed for it? He follows this woman outside and instantly dons his Batman garb to follow the car she gets into. Soon enough, she is pushed out of the car in front of an oncoming truck. Batman saves her and finds out she is not Vesper. He leaves her after commenting that she isn't seriously hurt. I guess since she is only partially hurt, it's okay for him to peace out. She pulls out a phone and demands money for playing her part. Who was on the other end of the phone, and why was the ruse necessary? Once again, we never find out. Meanwhile, back in the swamp, some country bumpkins find the mystery man's lair, and the artist completely fails us as we discover a murder board on the walls of the hut. The pages tacked up look important, but nothing is drawn on them, and it looks like a series of blank pages scattered all over the wall. The locals are dispatched, but there's no time to dwell on it because someone is intimidating the Riddler in prison. Now we're in the Joker's lair, where in a hermetically sealed room he is looking at photographs and murmuring genie. This is only the first time that Lieberman tries to ape the Killing Joke. For the uninitiated, Jeannie was Joker's wife before his transformation. She died in a gas explosion the night that the Joker was born. This room is insane. Why would Joker keep a hermetically sealed room around a book of photographs of his past when he said in the same Killing Joke that this is taken from that he prefers his past to be multiple choice? Riddler convinces Joker to move him out of prison. The convoy is naturally intercepted by Hush, who beats the Riddler and leaves him in the state we started this issue in. All the while, a voiceover tells us that there are 5 human emotions that we all share. It sounds like it's trying to be deep, except for the fact that the 5th emotion is revenge, which absolutely makes no sense. Joker is the crime boss of Gotham. To highlight this laughable point, he gets his goons to beat up Hush in the street before reclaiming the Riddler into his custody. He brings Riddler to his lair and leads us to a very trite scene where the Penguin acts as a supplicant to the Joker and they converse in front of a fireplace. Why does the Joker want to help the Riddler? Apparently the Riddler knows the name of the man who killed his wife. Keep in mind that until this story, it's been established that she died of a natural accident, and everyone associated with the Joker's first crime is already dead. The story cuts to Robin in a dive bar, making a deal with an extremely shady character. It seems like he's trying to purchase a new costume from him for 50 grand. Robin looks completely out of place in this bar, further highlighted by his business partner giving him a Swiss bank account number and leaving with a lady of the night. This scene makes no sense and is jammed into the story and then abandoned. Hush immediately contacts the shady guy outside of the bar. For what? We don't really find out. The story wastes 3 pages of exposition instead to let us know that Prometheus in Star City is the one Hush should really be talking to. You would think that if Lieberman wanted to showcase a real power player that Hush would want to team up with, he wouldn't introduce him by being dominated by a non-powered archer like Green Arrow. No disrespect to Oliver Queen, but if he can bring Prometheus to his knees with a few arrows, then what chance would Prometheus have against Batman? Hush rescues the prostrate Prometheus, and Green Arrow blows them up with an exploding arrow while they escape. But what do you know? They inexplicably survive the explosion and escape the Emerald Archer. How? We'll never know. Hush jury rigs the most ratchet operating table and saves Prometheus from his arrow wounds. Meanwhile, Green Arrow chastises Batman for not warning him about Hush. He carries on like a wimp who has never heard of collateral damage before, and Batman acts like a prick without feelings. Neither of these characterizations make sense, but we're beyond reason now. They come to blows, and then Batman wimps out on informing the family of the dead cop they were arguing over because he sees a small boy on the lawn and he has feelings. The last we see of Green Arrow is him using another exploding arrow to obliterate the motel room door that they tracked Hush to. How do they find him? This is extreme excessive force that looks like it would explode everything in the room, but luckily nothing inside is damaged. Also, Hush and Prometheus are gone. Back in Gotham, Robin and Batman have a heart-to-heart on a rooftop in the rain. It ends with Robin saying that he's never seen Batman like this before. Like what? Scared. Batman scared? This is an okay characterization if it's backed up by the story. Unfortunately, nothing in this story or art has indicated any kind of fear from the Caped Crusader. Despite all these events, no time has passed for the Joker because he's still standing in front of the fire with the Penguin and the Riddler. A flashback retcons the Killing Joke further by having the Red Hood crooks kidnap Joker's wife to assure his help in their Ace Chemical robbery. Although he still goes through with the job, his wife explodes when he returns home. Before the Riddler even begins his criminal career, he happened to see the actions across the street of a crooked cop placing Joker's wife in their apartment before setting up a gas explosion, just by luck. This is profoundly ridiculous and illogical. So Riddler witnessed this and kept it to himself all these years? It could have come in handy so many times before for him to reveal this information. Book 6, and we're finally at the conclusion of this horrid story. Bruce Wayne tells Alfred that he hates when the city is calm, even though that's his whole goal. Joker tries transporting Riddler again, but is stopped again by Prometheus and Hush. The difference this time is that Joker is beaten by Hush instead of the other way around. Riddler escapes and tries to lodge with Poison Ivy. Does she let him? We'll never know. Joker, demoralized and beaten, removes all of his clothes and walks to the carnival that he acquired in the Killing Joke. Someone off panel says welcome home, and the comic mercifully ends. This story had me constantly questioning character portrayals, motivations, and actions. For example, why does Hush want Riddler so badly? They were partners in the Hush storyline. Our only clue is that Hush wanted to know where a Lazarus pit was located, but why? He's not dead. It's a mystery. What's the point of messing with Batman at the beginning by fake resurrecting his dead girlfriend? Why would Green Arrow and Batman fight? Why is the Joker interested in being the city's crime boss? Why does Oracle spy on Bruce when he's at parties? Why does Robin interact with the underworld for new threads? Why am I still reading this? But wait, there's more. There's another issue included at the end of this story that has nothing to do with the issues that preceded it. It is so ridiculous and over the top that you wouldn't believe me if I summarized it for you. Hush Returns does not further the literary Batman. It is more of an ensemble book, and if anything, sets him back as a hero. As a continuation of Hush, it is awful. By relying so heavily on better stories that came before it, it doesn't tell its own story well enough. I give it 1 cow. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also never forget, I am Batman, you are Batman, we are Batman.